Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm Aaron Wong. I'm a commercial photographer by trade, and that's what I do for a living. I'm also an underwater photographer, which is where I share a lot of my passion for the ocean. And it is this passion that drove me to start the Finish with Fins campaign with Shark Savers, and it is a campaign that we are still working very hard on till today.
嚟自新加坡嘅黃近程 Aaron 本身係一位商業攝影師，拍攝過無數嘅廣告照片。由於佢有豐富嘅水底攝影經驗，8年前佢開始應客戶要求拍攝水底模特兒，成為呢方面廣告攝影嘅表者。
So before we knew it, we've done ads for watches, jewelry. From then on, a lot of the clients who want to do anything to do with water, they will look straight for me because I'm the only guy who basically over the years know everything there is to know about water. Chin down a little bit more. Chin down a bit more, yeah.
Aaron 熱愛海洋，佢希望通過影像帶出保育海洋嘅信息。近年佢更加積極推動保護鯊魚。佢亦係環保組織護鯊行動喺新加坡嘅大使，仲參與發起一次都唔食行動。
My job is to sell things in an advertisement. So I understand the mass media very well. I understand commercial photography very well. So to me, I want to use pictures to sell an idea. To do something as iconic as covering your mouth is a symbol. But if you put a picture of somebody they recognize, like these celebrities, people will recognize and they can relate to it. 新加坡雖然係一個好細嘅國家，但係我哋食魚翅嘅量係全世界其中一個最高嘅。我覺得喺個年代係應該停止，唔得再咁做嘢嘅。
為咗進一步推廣保護鯊魚呢個意識 ，Aaron 決定去斐濟群島，親身接觸一般人都好驚嘅動物。
身為一個水底攝影師，我希望可以用我嘅相表現到鯊魚其實唔係一個殘忍嘅動物。我先開始呢個 trip。希望可以影到鯊魚美麗嘅一面啦。
斐濟係位於南太平洋嘅島國。Aaron 選擇嚟到呢度，係因為呢度有好多唔同種類嘅鯊魚，當中包括有虎鯊、公牛鯊、白鰭礁鯊、護士鯊、尖齒檸檬鯊同白邊真鯊。Aaron 到達斐濟嘅主島維提島，喺呢度潛水員唔使用籠就可以近距離觀賞到唔同種類嘅鯊魚。對 Aaron 嚟講係好新鮮同獨特嘅拍攝經驗。
Well, they say you can see as many as 8 species of sharks in a single dive. I think to me, again, the interaction part of the shot will be the most important part for me. And let's see if we can get the shots today.
Morning, how are you, Andrew? Good. Looking forward to today? Yeah. Looking forward to today. If we get down there and the bulls are on top of us, we'll feed them, settle them down, then we'll play with the nurses. You know what I mean?
負責呢個潛水活動嘅係 Brandon。自從1999年開始，佢就喺斐濟帶人潛水觀賞鯊魚。出發之前 ，Brandon 準備好一大桶魚肉，等落水之後就用嚟餵鯊魚，作為鯊魚嘅點心。
Very good meat. All the blood and bloodline and skin. This is all from tuna from the processing plant. This is exactly what they like to eat. Very good food.
一隻係 hammerhead，另外一隻係supposed to be a great white, but doesn't look that much like a great white. But as long as it looks like a shark.
臨落水之前 ，Brandon 做足準備功夫，戴上用金屬鎖鏈製成嘅手套。
These will protect my fingers from getting any sort of shark's teeth into my hands, just in case I'm a bit slow to get out of the way.
喺南非長大嘅 Brandon， 自小就對鯊魚有濃厚嘅興趣。之後仲出錢出力，幫助呢度嘅村民將附近嘅水域成立為海洋保護區，目的係教育大眾對鯊魚有更深嘅認識。
I felt that the message that people had been receiving about sharks was completely distorted. We wanted to get people to understand that they're not mindless killing machines. They don't just swim around indiscriminately biting anything they see.
與鯊為友嘅 Brandon 覺得佢哋一啲都唔兇猛，而且仲好有智慧。
When I feed the shark, she comes along, she just takes the fish head and then goes. And then when the next shark comes or she comes back again and I don't have any food, I just have to hold my hands up and show her that I don't have anything. She'll come right up, have a good look at my hands, and then turn and go. So this is what we wanted to show people, that even with blood and fish oil in the water, it doesn't drive them wild or insane.
對餵飼野生海洋生物，有唔少人有反對嘅意見，認為呢種人為嘅活動會慢慢改變動物嘅天然習性。但係 Brandon 就唔同意呢個睇法。佢認為餵動物食啲乜嘢只係問題所在，而遊客好多時都忽略呢點。
They're taking down things off the buffet hall breakfast tray, what hard-boiled eggs and toast with butter on. What we're doing here is we're only putting down food into the ocean that they would find in their own natural environment, very often tuna. And we have marine biologists, marine scientists come and do studies here, and we've never seen any negative behavioral change. So they never become too accustomed to divers.
Aaron 揾到有利嘅位置，準備開始拍攝。好快，有一條難得一見嘅虎鯊游埋嚟。Aaron 急不及待舉起相機，捕捉眼前嘅畫面。
The moment we got in on the first dive, within the first 2 minutes, before I could actually settle myself down at the bottom, a huge 4.5 meters tiger shark showed up. It actually circled around us, fed right in front of the camera.
虎鯊係屬於頂級掠食者，即係話喺食物鏈當中佢冇咩天敵。而虎鯊襲擊人類嘅次數僅次於大白鯊，所以普遍被認為係天性兇惡。面對虎鯊嘅呢一刻 ，Aaron 唔單止唔驚，反而感到興奮。
A lot of people, since the movie Jaws, feel that sharks are just man-eaters that go out and kill humans. Of course, that is totally not true. We know that for a fact. Sharks are intelligent. You can interact with them. There are a lot of shark dives in the world that you can actually go to see sharks up close without any problems.
虎鯊游走之後，其他種類嘅鯊魚亦陸續出現。
And right after the tiger shark did its feeding, the bull sharks came in. And while the bull sharks are going around, a handful of other sharks like the silver tips zooming in and out of frame. Nurse sharks were all over the place.
I've been around the world, I did many dives, but I would say this is one of the few dives that I would certainly remember because you just don't get dives that have so much action within a short 25 minutes. In the world of advertising, beauty sells more than anything else, which is why I think it is better to show a nice picture of a shark in its own environment than a picture of a dead shark and all the gruesome facts that comes along with it. And I hope the pictures can go a long way in helping spread the message for shark conservation.
「嚟自新加坡嘅黃近晴 Aaron 本身係一位廣告攝影師，同時從事水底攝影。佢嘅作品風格充滿住強烈嘅光暗對比。
It actually has a lot to do with my commercial photography days because in the studio we always use light to either show the things that we want to sell or hide the things that we don't. So a lot of the times we will use shadows to hide things that we do not want to sell, and subconsciously this is the kind of concept that I brought to my underwater work.
Aaron 獨特嘅攝影風格令佢嘅作品經常出現喺國際知名雜誌。佢亦出版過2本攝影集。
So generally when you turn on the light, just turn on to the 50 first. If I want more, I'll just go like really strong,
Aaron 嘅水底照片好鍾意利用模特兒嚟襯托出海洋嘅寧靜同美，而 Lynette 就係佢經常合作嘅模特兒。
Of course, it's frustrating trying to communicate underwater because you basically cannot speak. You rely only on your bodily signals. So before every dive, we try to have a session to understand what you're trying to achieve with each dive. Then that makes things a lot much easier on me and on him, and there's just a lot less frustration underwater.
Aaron 拍攝嘅時候，首先會考慮陽光照射嘅方向，然後會揾顏色鮮豔嘅珊瑚做前景，特別係紅色、橙色或者黃色，因為可以同藍色嘅海洋作出強烈對比。之後，模特兒就要配合照片嘅構圖而擺出姿勢。
A lot of people think that underwater modeling is just about standing there or hovering there, but it's not true because you need to keep your knees together, part your fins a little bit, arc your body and hold the torch. And this is a rather uncomfortable position to hover in the middle of the waters.
作為一個水底模特兒，要喺海裏邊揾啱位置嚟配合構圖，原來好困難。Lynette 通常會靠鏡頭嘅反應去判斷自己嘅位置係咪正確。正因為 Aaron 獨特嘅攝影風格同對美嘅追求，所以佢鏡頭下嘅照片好多都被視為藝術作品。
I would consider my pictures more fine art images than just underwater pictures. Because a lot of underwater photography is just about documenting, like this is the reef, this is the fish. That's not what my pictures do. My pictures are actually almost like a painting. And that's what I inspire to do, to paint with light.
Aaron 今次嚟斐濟係想拍一啲保育鯊魚嘅照片。喺佢再次落水之前，佢去探訪當地嘅環保團體，了解當地鯊魚嘅情況。
Arthur?
You.
Aaron. It's
Aaron.
good to meet you.
Nice
Thanks
to
for your
meet you.
time, man.
Please,
Yeah.
come in. Sharks are a commodity within the Asian market. The fact remains that studies conducted within the Pacific have shown drastic decline in shark populations.
Arthur 話非洲嘅居民大部分都係住喺海邊，佢哋依賴海洋資源為生。如果冇咗鯊魚嘅話，海洋生態會受到破壞，而居民嘅生活最終亦受到影響。
After speaking to Arthur, it reinforced the need to have more done for the sharks because places like Fiji, basically like any other Pacific islands, have foreign boats coming in to take away the local resources. So this is a very sad situation, and while this is happening, shark numbers continue to decline, and this is a totally unsustainable fishery if you ask me.
You and I get in the right position, especially towards the end of the dive, alright? You will notice that we go shallow, and I'll tell you, okay,
為咗令更多人愛護鯊魚，Aaron 打算拍攝人同鯊魚互動嘅照片。
Don't look around, the shark's just on me.
所以今日佢就帶同模特兒 Lynette 一齊出海。
And basically once
I'll be lying if I'm saying that I'm not afraid. Part of me is, but I'm more excited than afraid to go down and see for myself what it is like to dive with so many 8 species in one dive. So it's exciting.
對於從未接觸過鯊魚嘅 Lynette，今次係一個極大嘅挑戰。
At the start, we went down to the dive and I was a little nervous because you don't know what to expect.
Lynette 落水之後，首先喺外圍觀察鯊魚嘅情況，熟習呢度嘅海底環境。
What was really surprising for me is that the shark, they noticed us, but they really couldn't be bothered with us.
Lynette 觀察咗一陣之後，見到幾條護士鯊游埋嚟，但就覺得佢哋冇咩威脅性。之後公牛鯊亦出現 ，Lynette 覺得自己只要提高警覺，佢哋睇嚟都唔係咁可怕。
So the moment they offered me the chance to go into the arena, I jumped at it and I went for it. I just went up there and there was a nurse shark in front of me. I didn't think twice but just stick out my hand and just pet it like I would my dog. And I didn't feel as afraid as I thought I would be. In fact, I was rather zen and I was more looking forward to seeing the sharks up close in action.
正當 Lynette 同嗰啲鯊魚熟絡咗之後 ，Aaron 亦都準備拍攝嘅時候，突如其來嘅事發生，令到 Lynette 冇辦法繼續。
We didn't want to risk having the young bull swimming about. There were especially one called Zoom. He has less manners than the rest. So they didn't let me be in the arena too long when it just got a bit too frenzied.
Unfortunately, I didn't manage to secure one of the shots that I wanted to do with Lynn, interacting with the sharks. There are always a bit of challenges, things that happen, and we were not expecting.
有時人算不如天算 ，Aaron 原本以為要放棄原定嘅拍攝計劃，點知好快機會又出現喺眼前。
Luckily for me, there's one moment where Brandon was in the right place and I was at the right place at the right time, and all of a sudden the nurse shark came in. Without any preparation, they just swam up to Brandon, and Brandon actually tickled the nurse shark, and it happens.
雖然照片嘅模特兒唔係 Lynette， 但係拍出嚟嘅效果同期待嘅一樣 ，Aaron 覺得好滿意。
He's reaching up to the shark, and he's barely touching them with the tip of his fingers. It's not like he's grabbing it or preventing it from running away. And And the other is the eye contact, which I think is really cool because when a man comes face to face with a shark and they stare at each other like that, I think it's just a magical moment.
10年嚟 ，Aaron 一直為保護鯊魚而努力。佢希望可以用佢嘅照片帶出鯊魚嘅美麗，從而令公眾愛護鯊魚，珍惜海洋。
Not just nice pictures, but pictures of interaction between sharks and people. And I just want to show that, and if treated with respect, man and shark can share the same ocean.